So I request you all to stand up for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता। पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा। विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा। तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे। गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता। जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे।
Good afternoon, eminent dignitaries on the dais, esteemed members of the Governing Council of Raman Research Institute and the RRI Trust, dignitaries from other sister institutions, distinguished guests, friends, colleagues, and members of the Raman Research Institute family. Heartiest greeting for the new year to one and all, and very warm welcome to this landmark event in the history of Raman Research Institute. I feel truly privileged to welcome our Honorable Union Minister, Science and Technology, Dr. Jitendra Singh, as the chief guest. Padma Vibhushan, Dr. Anil Kakotkar, Chancellor, Homi Bhabha National Institute, and former Chairman, Atomic Energy Commission and Secretary, Department of Atomic Energy, as the guest of honor to this grand finale to the Platinum Jubilee celebrations of Raman Research Institute. It's your presence, sir, that adds true gravitas to the accolade of grand to this event. In the past year, we have hosted many national and international conferences, launched prestigious named lecture series, and conducted other myriad science and science-related events. It gives me great pleasure to meet you one final time as part of this memorable series of events marking the 75 glorious years in the Institute's scientific history. The legacy of cutting-edge science continues at this institution. Yesterday, we witnessed the successful launch of ExpoSat, a new astronomical X-ray observatory with unique global capability, whose primary science payload, POLIX, was conceived, designed, and fabricated at RRI. A Platinum Jubilee tribute to the nation indeed. We continue to lead the world in having among the most sensitive experiments in radio astronomy at low FM band frequencies that seek a very subtle signal from cosmic dawn, marking the birth of first stars and galaxies in the universe. We are proud of the globally recognized cluster of experimental laboratories, exploring the frontiers of quantum science and atomic physics, physics of soft and living matter, together with theoretical research at frontiers of classical and quantum aspects of statistical and gravitational physics. On the dais with me as representative of the Institute is Padma Shri A.S. Kiran Kumar, Chairperson, Raman Research Institute Governing Council, and former Chairman, ISRO, and Secretary of Department of Space. Before we start the program, I request Shri Kiran Kumar to present a memento on behalf of Raman Research Institute to our chief guest, Honorable Union Minister, Dr. Jitendra Singh, for making time to be with us at this historic moment. Thank you, Dr. Kiran Kumar. Next, I would request Dr. Kiran Kumar to present a memento on behalf of Raman Research Institute to our guest of honor, Dr. Anil Kakotkar. I mentioned the mementos fabricated in-house features a replica of the original artwork that was adopted for the commemorative postal stamp released on November 7th by Indian Post to mark the 75 years of Raman Research Institute. Next, on behalf of the institution, I would like to present Sri Kiran Kumar with a memento to thank him for his valuable guidance and encouragement through the year. Thank you. Now we commence the program. Our guest of honor, Dr. Anil Kakotkar, took charge as the director of Bhabha Atomic Research Center in the year 1996 and was in apex leadership role as chairman, Atomic Energy Commission and secretary to the Government of India, Department of Atomic Energy for 9 years, from 2000 to 2009. India's atomic energy program received significant boost through contributions and leadership of Dr. Kakotkar. Undeterred by restrictions imposed by the international community, he succeeded in realizing several key developments for India. He conceptualized and built Dhruva, one of the largest research reactors in the world, and was among the key top individuals responsible for the peaceful nuclear explosion experiment in the year 1974 and the nuclear weapons test in 1998. Post-superannuation, Dr. Kakotkar continues to be active in several aspects of energy, education, and societal development. Dr. Kakotkar has been felicitated with all 3 Padma Awards, as well as the Apex State Awards of Government of Goa, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, besides numerous others. May I request Dr. Kakotkar to kindly deliver his address on this occasion. Dr. Kakotkar.
Honorable Minister, Dr. Jitendra Singh, Shri Kiran Kumar, Chairman of the Governing Council of this eminent institution, Raman Research Institute, and former Chairman, ISRO, distinguished fraternity of scientists, researchers, faculty members, students, and well-wishers of Raman Research Institute, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, let me express my gratitude to Director of Raman Research Institute, Dr. Saurdeep, for this invitation. It's indeed an honor to be a part of this finale for celebrating 75th year of Raman Research Institute, an institute with legacy which perhaps no other institution can claim. An institute which has the legacy of Sir C.V. Raman, an institute which I understand is the first autonomous institution within the fold of Department of Science and Technology in the country. And of course, an institute which has its own very rich research and efforts to push frontiers of knowledge forward, that kind of history. So it's indeed a great privilege for me to be here. For any country, they say there are four things which are the very distinguishing factors for an evolved society of that country. One is the institutions that exist there. Second is the infrastructure that exists in the country. Third is the technologies which are available to people. And fourth is, of course, the incentives for high performers in the society. And I think legacy of Professor Raman in many ways represents all of them. And it is in that context that I feel that as we celebrate 75 years of Raman Research Institute, and in this atmosphere, in this ambience, where that legacy keeps on guiding us, keeps on telling us what more to do, is a shining example for others to emulate. Today, we always talk about science and technology being the driver for the progress, including economic progress of a country. Today, that economic progress is more determined by research-led industries as compared to maybe a decade earlier, where it was more led by you just practice a technology established elsewhere. In the sense, manufacturing was the main thing. While manufacturing remains a driver, but a bigger driver that is emerging world over is the research-led industries. And that's where the frontier research, which not only pushes the frontiers of knowledge, but also penetrates into industrial activity, industrial operation, becomes important. And this is where institutions like Raman Research Institutions becomes very important. So for me, I look forward to an India where we talk about industries which are churning out research-led products which are ahead of anywhere else in the world, where we can talk about new technologies which come about in India ahead of anybody else, any other country. And I think it is in this aspect that an institution like Raman Research Institute can make a big difference, and I'm sure it will make a big difference. There is also this aspect of a critical mass coming from the nuclear community. I do understand the importance of critical mass. And I think it's important that all our institutions also reach that critical mass. And if that happens, I think our strength will get multiplied manifold. So I want to use this occasion to compliment all members of this institute for all that has happened in the past, all that is happening currently, and all that this institution will do in future, and look forward to your leadership in times ahead. Once again, compliments to all of you. Congratulations to all of you. And thank you, Dr. Saurdeep, for this invitation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Kakotkar, for recognizing the value that institutions of frontier science like Raman Research Institute bring to the nation, and also, making very pertinent observations on the need to grow critical mass. These are the things that we all worry about. And we look forward to your continued guidance in going forward with the Institute. May I now request Shri Kiran Kumar to share his thoughts on this occasion.
Good afternoon to all of you. Honorable Jitendra Singh Ji, the Minister of State for Department of Space, Atomic Energy, and many others. He has actually holds position for many departments. Dr. Kakotkar, Dr. Sauradeep, and all of you who have gathered here on the occasion of the completion of 75th anniversary celebrations of Raman Institute. In fact, I was just going through a book where I saw this quote from Dr. Ramasheshan in his 50th anniversary of Raman Effect at IISc. Quote, according to modern view of science, nature can only be described, it cannot be explained, like many extraordinary natural phenomena. Raman can only be described, he defies explanation, unquote. So in this, in many ways, the legacy of Raman Institute and also what he built here and how he took this forward in the course of his life probably is captured. And there are different people who have seen different aspects of Dr. Raman, and today we are actually standing here to look at what an institute which started by him is doing and what it needs to do in the coming decades. In fact, you also look at some of the statements what he himself has made during some of his talks. In one of the places he says, a pursuit of science solely for the practical benefits to be derived therefrom and not for the sake of knowledge spells the doom of science and the doom of scientific genius. Similarly, at another place he says, if science is to be real, useful, and ultimately beneficial, it must be kept as science and not as a mere tool to obtain benefits derived from that. And similarly, in another occasion, he says, there is only one solution for India's economic problem, and that is science and still more science. So if you look at this in the context of what is happening currently, while India has reached the 5th largest economy and aspiring to grow towards becoming the topmost in the coming decade, and when Raman Institute itself has completed 75 years of existence, and looking towards the remaining Amrit Kal for reaching the 100 years, what it should do and how it should progress is an aspect which all of us need to really ponder upon and see where and how to take it. We see already just yesterday, one of the launch vehicles put an instrument developed at this institute into space and looking at an activity where only one other nation had done a similar thing, where they were looking at X-ray polarimetry in one specific region from 2 keV to 8 keV. What Raman Institute is doing is from 8 to 30, complementary, and there will be many years of common observation available. And also Raman Institute has shown in the recent past, in the areas of its work of optics and quantum physics and quantum related activities. It is doing very many activities, and if future, which is quantum technology based, if it has to see the light or the benefits of quantum technology, there are enough seeds and saplings sprouting here to make a difference to the country. So let me take this opportunity to compliment Raman Institute for what it has achieved in the last 75 years. But more than that, look at what it needs to do in the coming 25 years to take the country to its destined position of leading the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shri Kiran Kumar. Thank you for your insightful comments on the importance of frontier research and also sort of commending us on the journey so far and suggesting directions for the years ahead. So next, Raman Research Institute and Nature India joined hands to encapsulate a selection of pathbreaking scientific research that emanated from this venerable institution over its 75 glorious years. This has been brought out as a special issue featuring popular science level commentaries that can be accessible and hence inspire young students and general public to pursue science. I now request Honorable Union Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh to release the special issue of Nature India. Thank you, Dr. Jitendra Singh, for unveiling the glimpses of scientific achievements of Raman Research Institute and nicely called Lighting the Way of Physics. So moving ahead, as many of you know, the iconic Raman tree planted in 1974 as a memorial to mark the spot where Professor C.V. Raman was cremated had held a majestic presence on this campus. Professor Radhakrishnan, who succeeded the founder director, specifically envisioned immortalizing Professor Raman with a living monument instead of, in his words, cold marble with lifeless bonds. I'm sure many seekers of scientific knowledge to the campus have been inspired by this living monument. Regrettably, in September 2022, a year back, the grand old tree of Latin American origin fell of natural causes. The Institute and Trust, in consultation with family members of Professor C.V. Raman, decided that a new Raman tree be planted during this landmark year. A young Sita Ashoka tree, a much venerated native species, has been selected to succeed the original Raman tree. I now request Honorable Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh to step out and plant the successor to the Raman tree. The event will be live streamed on the screen behind me, and members of the audience can kindly witness the event from the comfort of their seats. Thank you. Thank you again, Dr. Jitendra Singh, for symbolically launching the next epoch of scientific excellence at RRI by reviving the living monument to the Institute's founder and nation's pride, Nobel laureate and Bharat Ratna, Professor C.V. Raman. I now request Honorable Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh to deliver his address.
On the dais, Dr. Anil Kakodkar, who's one of the living doyens amongst us, a teacher of teachers, and you just now heard him speak. I was telling him that one can be as brief as you were, only when one has the confidence that everybody in the audience, I know enough to talk, but I have restrained myself. So many of us who are engaged in the realms of research go on talking and talking because we want others to know what we are doing. But that speaks of the substance inside the person. So he doesn't have to tell that he can speak on and on. And brevity is a virtue, I was telling him. Seated beside him, another stalwart from the Department of Space Technology, Dr. Kiran Kumar, and of course, your own, you have Dr. Professor Tarun, members of the RRI Trust. At the outset, I have to also thank the Trust for having given me this opportunity to be here. As I wrote in the visitor's book just a few moments ago, I said this has been a rare brush with history going around the library and the archives of Sir C.V. Raman, and absolutely inspired by the rich legacy I'm carrying home from here, deeply entrenched inside me, also a Raman effect, though of a different connotation. So one can't actually escape being affected by Raman, whether you call it a Raman effect or whatever effect. But it will be one way or the other associated with his name. And I also feel gratified that this program is being organized and we are here celebrating this in a year which is just concluded 2 days back. And it's been a glorious year for India's science and scientists. In a way, to a great extent, a vindication of all that Sir C.V. Raman and his followers stood for. It's been an year of Chandrayaan, as was being mentioned by Professor Tarun, a year of Aditya, also International Year of Millets, where India could actually convince the fellow members of the United Nations that we had a food product which had some scientific value which could be actually accepted and devoured by the rest of the world as well. And of course, G20, which happened in the close follow-up. And this was also the year when we recorded the rise of India's startups from just about 350, 400 to more than 1 lakh. India emerging as number 3 ecosystem in the world of startups across the world. We were very primitive in our other streams, like for example, biotechnology, only about 50 startups till 2014. Today we have more than 6,000. And this was also the year when we could actually put into practice the new provisions of the new space policy with which Professor Kiran Kumar has been closely associated. And the outcome of this has been absolutely rewarding. We were having just one figure startup, I believe only one startup for 4 years back. Today we have more than 190. And the earlier ones of them have already turned into entrepreneurs. Our space economy today is just about 8 billion, is going to be about 40 billion very soon in the next few years, and then 100 billion. So all this has happened because we have actually, under the present government and the leadership of Prime Minister Modi, managed to break away from many of the shackles of the past. Then, of course, as was being mentioned about the quantum, which is closely linked to the kind of work that Sir C.V. Raman did. India is now in the league of 6 or 7 nations in the world, which has only this year, in 2023, launched mission quantum technology. It's not that we have been left behind, as often it happened. The other countries would take up a technology, start applying it, and after seeing the success of the application, then we would adopt it. Now we are in the league of 6 or 7, and we are also in the R&D stage. So we are keeping a pace. And though in certain areas, like space, we are maybe a little ahead of, so in certain aspects like Chandrayaan landing on South Pole, etc., etc. Then this was also the year when we actualized the geospatial policy, which was also redone. We were conducting surveys through those primitive manners. We had a huge force of army officers, as many as 91 of them, helping us to do all the hard labor and physical work, because we thought a survey was something for which you required a good amount of muscle power, without realizing that the times had changed. It all required space technology, drones, and technically savvy boys and girls sitting on the desk. So we have actually redone the entire thing. And this all happened this year. And this is also around the time when we are observing the Platinum Jubilee of this institute, 100 years of C.V. Raman's discovery, and 135 years of his birth anniversary. So many things happening all together. I think that makes this year and these times quite significant. But as a part of the policy planning team in Government of India, I think 2 important highlights of this government in the last 10 years have been, A, that we were very cautious that we don't have to confine our science, our scientific research and innovation only to the level of research and development. So we have actually managed to push forward, and to a great extent very successfully, in using our technological innovations, technological inputs to bring in, at the end of the day, ease of living for a common citizen. Now you look at any sector, whether it's infrastructure, whether it's development, you have science technology being applied to a very great extent. Whether it's the railways, the laying down of the rail tracks, guarding the unmanaged or unmanned rail crossings, roads. In fact, now we've come out with those steel slag roads already put in place in 2 or 3 places. Again, developed by one of our labs, our institutes in Delhi, the Road Research Institute. Whether it's the health sector, whether it's the education sector, you name any sector, I would rather say that technology has now entered every Indian household. And we are now managed to use it even as a matter of policy in the infrastructure development. And that has paid dividends. Now, for example, geospatial policy, which is recent and which has come out with a new kind of practices, has been applied by the revenue department to do the mapping, to do the earmarking of the farms and the lands, which was done by the revenue officers and the patowaris and all those people. Now it's being done by technologists. And it's also made citizen a part of the governance process, because the citizen can actually do it on himself. So we have been able to use our science, our research and development practices, knowledge for development, for governance, also for making citizen a part of this entire growth journey. And as far as picking up from what Professor Tarun was saying, it's also a very providential coincidence that I'm here with you just about 24 hours after the launching of ExpoSat. If I had come a day earlier, then I wouldn't have been able to say so, nor would have Professor Tarun said. So I couldn't come earlier for my own reasons, not that I planned it to be so. But it gives me another opportunity to compliment all the friends over here in the RRI, because you have contributed to the success of the New Year's first satellite launch. And when the Aditya launch happened and I was asked to make the formal announcement by Somnath at Sriharikota, my first sentence, Professor Karan Kumar would recall, was, I said, the launching has done by ISRO, but the mission is whole of science. And I think the same holds true even for the exposed hat, our X-ray polarization observatory, because the primary science payload has been conceived, developed, and contributed from this place. I mean, it's like a celluloid movie. You see the hero and heroine, you don't know the scriptwriter, and you don't even ask about it. But the hero and heroine would not have been dancing around the tree if they didn't have a script in hand, or somebody wouldn't have to have written lyrics for them. So this is the institute which wrote the lyrics, which wrote the scripts, so that the launching could happen. And I think we need to tell this to the rest of the country also, in too many words. So the kind of involvement that we are seeing with our scientific feats and scientific success stories now is unbelievable. I was telling Somnath the other day when we were watching this Chandrayaan landing, I said, the only other occasion when so many people get glued to the television is only when India is playing against Pakistan. So at the end of the day, they either throw flowers on the television set or they end up breaking the glass. So but that kind of, because that has happened, because we have, at least in the last 8-10 years, made a very conscious effort to open up science to all the stakeholders and create a kind of an ecosystem. And though this is not an education institution, but of course what is going to make a lot of difference in the very near future is also the new education policy, which allows you to determine your aptitudes. You could actually change over from space technology to atomic energy or even to chemistry, depending on how your aptitudes grow. Sometimes you learn within yourself that now you are better at doing that. You are no longer a prisoner of the subjects that you chose or your parents chose in class 12 for you, thinking that you will become doctors, but you didn't, and then the subjects kept chasing you. So all this ecosystem is what this government could have done. And therefore, and of course, as Professor Tarun mentioned, the quantum technology, this institute is also playing a leading part in the satellite-based quantum communication, which again allies it with the Department of Space. And therefore, as we enter into 2024, I can see very close inside the vindication of C.V. Raman and his followers happening in a much bigger way than it's already started happening. And as the world celebrates India's science and the scientists and the world comes around to be led by India, I think the ascent to 2047, which Dr. Kiran Kumar was referring to, the Amrit Kal and the ascent of India to that pedestal in 2047, the century India, that ascent has actually begun through these science success stories. The success story of Chandrayaan, the success story of vaccine. I mean, on the one hand, Chandrayaan makes us proud and makes the whole world bewildered what has happened, because they thought we could only sing nursery rhymes about the moon. We couldn't actually reach the South Pole, the virgin land where they had never landed. Similarly, the vaccine story. We have come out with a protective vaccine and started providing to the other countries where we were hardly thought about as a very serious healthcare providers. We were not even serious therapeutic providers. We are providing now vaccines. So all these success stories have convinced the world, and the talent was never lacking even before. If you see the conditions in which Sir C.V. Raman worked, or his disciples like Sarabhai, you would see those pictures in the archive carrying his baggage on the carriage of a bicycle. But what was lacking was an enabling milieu. And this government has the will and the conviction, because we are convinced, and so also Prime Minister Modi, that if we have to reach that pedestal, as was being quoted about, Kiran Kumar quoted about from C.V. Raman, there has to be science, and yet more science. And the entire growth hereafter is going to be technology-driven. And that ascent to that pedestal of 2047 has incidentally started via the realms of the success stories churned out from this institute and from all the other institutes. And the lesson that we carry home is that our entire optimum outcome in the growth will largely depend on our ability to come out of silos, to integrate as much as we can. I was telling some of the scientist colleagues the other day, I said it has to be integration at different levels. First, the intra-integration. At least let the institutes within the same ministry and the same department combine. I was sharing with Dr. Kakodkar that we had one of the CSIR institutes, we had about 3 or 4 of them devoted to the same kind of research. Some devoted to drugs, some devoted, but they hardly exchange notes. So we started that process. And then inter-integration, integrating with the other institutes with a similar agenda, which could be IIT. And then also extra integration, surprisingly with IIMs, with the business schools, because if you have to have startups which will sustain, you need to have a strong market linkage, which has been vindicated from the success of our Roma mission and vaccine story. So I think with that kind of lesson now having got entrenched in our minds, we know for sure that we are not shy of integrating with each other. And that we are doing because that would also supplement our growth, not only collectively, but also individually. Because if I am performing something and I wish to reach a certain level, maybe I may not be able to do so if I keep myself in isolation. But if I solicit the virtue of integrating others, that would in the process also raise my level and my standard of work. So I think now that conviction is dawned, and therefore we are now on the right course. And I'm sure even before that 2047, we would be there where Sir C.V. Raman and the other founding fathers of India's science story had actually envisaged for all of us. Thank you very much, and thanks for being here this afternoon.
I deeply thank our chief guest, Honorable Union Minister of State, Science and Technology, Dr. Jitendra Singh, for the inspirational address to the gathering. It was remarkable that he had, caught on to the very ethos of the institute, and commended our recent work, and expressed great belief that the future was very bright. I would be remiss not to mention that Dr. Jitendra Singh is an amazing multitasker, because his portfolio includes, besides science and technology, the Department of Atomic Energy, Department of Space, and Prime Minister's Office, and personal grievances. So it's amazing that he could find time to come all this way to greet us. And also glad that 3 of his portfolios are represented right here at this event. So I thank him for releasing the Nature India issue that captures glimpses of frontier science that has emanated from Raman Research Institute. And finally, we are grateful to him for flagging off the next phase of the institution by planting a successor of the awe-inspiring monument to our founder, Professor C.V. Raman. I thank Dr. Anil Kakotkar, who has spearheaded progress of Indian science and technology to enable the country to stand tall amongst nations, for kindly gracing this event as the guest of honor and motivating us through his address. His presence at this occasion gives us renewed vigor to walk forward as torchbearers of a great Indian science legacy. The Institute is indeed fortunate to have such eminent personalities grace this occasion. I would like to reiterate my heartfelt gratitude to Honorable Union Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh, Dr. Anil Kakotkar for accepting our invitation to grace this landmark event. We are indebted to Chairperson Governing Council of Raman Research Institute, Padma Shri Kiran Kumar, for representing the Institute on the dais at this occasion and having steered us through this memorable year of Raman Research Institute. We thank all members of the Governing Council for their valuable guidance and RRI Trust for their warm convivial partnership with the Institute. I thank all distinguished invitees, well-wishers, friends, and colleagues who have gathered here for this grand finale to the Platinum Jubilee Year celebration. As we close the Platinum Jubilee Year, I would like to especially acknowledge and thank all my colleagues at RRI for their untiring efforts and wholehearted participation in organizing numerous wonderful events throughout the Platinum Jubilee year of Raman Research Institute. We are also grateful for the encouragement of many well-wishers, both within and outside the RRI family, and some of you who are all here at this occasion too. It's our collective effort and goodwill that will sustain the institution at par with the best in the world in the pursuit of frontier and path-breaking scientific research. Thank you. I'd like to request all of you to please rise for the national anthem.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
Thank you. I invite you all to enjoy the cultural program which will commence shortly on the stage here. May I request the members of the dais to join us in the exploration of the Institute a little more? We'll explore the treasures of RRI a little more, so please join me in going to the museum. Yeah. Check, 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 one, two.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಹೊಸ ವರ್ಷದ ಹಾರ್ದಿಕ ಶುಭಾಶಯಗಳು. A very happy new year to all of you present here, and a very warm welcome from the Drishti Art Center. Drishti Art Center is very happy to be invited here to share the joy of dance with all of you. We will be presenting a dance production, Navarasa Shakti, one of our popular dance production, which is on Goddess Durga, which depicts the 9 emotions of Goddess Durga. Durga is a pure embodiment of Shakti, the positive forces, the divine, feminine, invisible warrior goddess, the protector. Her innate form manifests in various moods, which we called as Nava Rasa. At times, she's gentle, playing symphony with the nature, and then she's also the fearsome force. Black as a no-moon night with string of skull for garland and one who drinks blood. Her 9 forms or moods symbolize the unassailable essence of the inherent nature of womanhood. In this composition, the 9 moods or the rasas are depicted in different mythological stories taken from the stories of life of Goddess Durga. This composition is in Ragamalika, Aditala, lyrics by Shatavadani Dr. R. Ganesh, music composition by Vidwan D.S. Srivatsa and Vidwan G. Gurumurthy, concept and choreography Srimati Anuradha Vikrant, and will be presented by the Drishti Dance Ensemble. Navarasa Shakti. Thank you.
ta ki ta jham ta ki ta jham tam tam ta jham bhim bhim ta jham tum tum ta jham ta dhing ge na tum ta dhi tum nam ta jham ta jham tak jham tak jham tak ki ta jham tak ki ta jham tam tam ta jham dhim dhim ta jham tum tum ta jham ta dhing dhing na tum om hrim shrim dum mantra rupi navarasa ranjani pahi ma bhairavi rajeshwari katyayini chakreshwari tribhuvana janani adhi tum nam tajham tajham takajham takajham takitajham takitajham tam tam tajham dhim dhim tajham tum tum tajham tak dhing dhing tum om hrim shrim dum mantra rupi navarasa ranjani pahi ma bhairavi rajeshwari katyayini chakreshwari tribhuvana janani adhi tum nam tajham tajham takajham takajham takitajham takitajham tam tam tajham dhing dhing tajham tum tum tajham tak tadhing dhing tum adhi tum nam tajham tajham takajham takajham takitajham takitajham tam tam tajham dhing dhing tajham tum tum tajham tak dhing dhing tum om hrim चन्द्रकलाधरलोचन मन्दस्मित पुलकालङ्कृते मन्दहासमाकन्द महेशानन्द कुण्डलतिके शुचिस्मिते सुन्दरचन्द्रकलाधर लोचन मन्दस्मित पुलकालङ्कृते मन्दहास माकन्द महेश आनन्द कुण्डलतिके शुचिस्मिते सुन्दरचन्द्र कलाधर लोचन पुलकालङ्कृते सुन्दरचन्द्र मन्दहासमाकन्द महेशानन्द कुण्डलतिके शुचिस्मिते मन्दहासमाकन्द महेश आनन्द कुण्डलतिके शुचिस्मिते सुन्दरचन्द्रकलाधर लोचन मन्दस्मित पुलकालङ्कृते मन्दहास माकन्द महेश आनन्द कुण्डलतिके शुचिस्मिते शुचिस्मिते विला निशुम्भाडम्बर दलने शुम्भित समरोत्साह विलसने कुम्भिकुम्भ वारण सिंहबले शाम्भवी वीरवर विशाले शुम्भ निशुम्भाडम्बर दलने शुम्भित समरोत्साह विलसने कुम्भिकुम्भ वारण सिंहबले शाम्भवी वीरवरे विशाले शुम्भ निशुम्भाडम्बरदलने शुम्भित समरोत्साह विलसने कुम्भिकुम्भ वारण सिंहबले शाम्भवी वीरवरे शाम्भवी वीरवरे शाम्भवी वीरवरे विशाले शाम्भवी वीरवरे शुम्भ निशुम्भाडम्बरदलने शुम्भित समरोत्साह विलसने कुम्भिकुम्भ वारण सिंहबले शाम्भवी वीरवरे विशाले नवरस रसवाहिनी निरञ्जनी अवनटलीलावनी विलासिनी नवरस रसवाहिनी
झण्णकु तां तटे तकेट तां 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 धिं धिण्णतुं झण्णकु धिं झण्ण तकेट धिं 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 धिण्णतुं झण्णकु तुं झुड्डु तकेट तुं 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 धिं धिण्णतुं झण्णकु नं धिमि तकेट नं 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 धिं धिण्णतुं झण्णकु तां तटे तकेट तां तां झण्णकु धिं झण्ण तकेट धिं 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 झण्णकु तुं झुण्णु तकेट तुं तुं झुण्णकु नं धिमि तकेट नं 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 झण्णकु तां तटे झण्णकु तां झण्णत झण्णकु तां झुण्णु त झण्णकु तां धिमि त झण्णकु तां धि झण्णकु तां तत् धि झण्णकु तां ता धी तुं नं तत् धिं गिण्णतुं तत्त धि धी तुं तुं नं नं तत् धिं गिण्णतुं तक धिं तरिकिटतुं तत् 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 धि 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 तुं 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 नं 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 तत् धिं गिण्णतुं तत् धिं तरिकिटतुं तरिकिट तक तरिकिटतुं तां
नवरस रसवाहिनी दक्षोदीरित निजपतिनिन्द प्रोक्षकशाहति हत मृदु हृदये दीक्षा कल्पित नत जनरक्ष लक्षण परिलक्षिते दक्षोदीरित निजपतिनिन्द प्रोक्षकशाहति हत मृदु हृदये दीक्षा कल्पित नत जनरक्ष लक्षण परिलक्षिते दयार्द्रे दक्षोदीरित ಲಕ್ಷೋದೀರಿತ ನಿಜಪತಿನಿಂದ ಪ್ರೋಕ್ಷಕಶಾಹತಿ ಹತ ಮೃದು ಹೃದಯೇ ದೀಕ್ಷಾ ಕಲ್ಪಿತ ನತ ಜನರಕ್ಷ ಲಕ್ಷಣ ಪರಿಲಕ್ಷಿತೆ ದಯಾರ್ದ್ರೇ ದೀಕ್ಷಾ ಕಲ್ಪಿತ ನತ ಜನರಕ್ಷ ಲಕ್ಷಣ ಪರಿಲಕ್ಷಿತೆ ದಯಾರ್ದ್ರೇ ದಕ್ಷೋದೀರಿತ ನಿಜಪತಿನಿಂದ रोक्षकशाहति हत मृदु हृदये दीक्षा कल्पित नत जनरक्ष लक्षण परिलक्षिते दयार्द्रे 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 नवरसरसवाहिनी निरञ्जनी अवनटलीलावनी विलासिनी नवरसरसवाहिनी लंबोदर गुह खेलन कलहे साम्बे दर्शित नर्म विलासे लंबित चेटी चाटु चरित्रे अंबिके मोदानिते सुहासे लंबोदर गुह खेलन कलहे साम्बे दर्शित नर्म विलासे लंबित चेटी चाटु चरित्रे अंबिके मोदनिते सुहासे लंबोदर गुह खेलन कलगे लंबोदर गुह खेलन कलहे साम्बे दर्शित नर्म विलासे साम्बे दर्शित नर्म विलासे साम्बे दर्शित नर्म विलासे साम्बे दर्शित नर्म विलासे लंबित चेटी चाटु चरित्रे अंबिके मोदान्विते सुहासे लंबित चेटी चाटु चरित्रे अंबिके मोदान्विते सुहासे लंबोदर गुह खेलन कलहे सा
tum taka ding ginna tum taka ding ginna tum ta thi ta kum ta ri ta jum ta kum ta ri ta jum ta ding ginna tum taka thi ta kum ta ri ta jum ta kum ta ri ta jum ta dim ka ta ka tum ta thi ta kum ta ri ta jum ta kum ta ri ta jum ta ding ginna tum taka thi ta kum ta ri ta jum ta kum ta ri ta jum ta dim ka ta tum ta thi ta kum ta ri ku kum ta ri ki ta ka ta ka ta thi ta kum ta ri ki ta ta ka ta thi ta kum ta ri ku kum ta ri ki ta ka ta ka ta thi ta kum ta ri ta kum ta ri ki ta ta ka ta thi kum ta ri ta ding ginna tum ta ka ding ginna tum ka ta ka ding ginna tum ta ri kum ta ri ta dim ta ri ki ta tum ta ka thi ta ri ki ta tum ta ka dim ta ri ki ta tum ta ri kum ta ri ta kum ta ri ki ta ta ka tum ki ta ta ka tum ki ta ta ka tum ta
ನವರಸ ರಸವಾಹಿನಿ ಶಕ್ತ ನಿಶಾಚರ ರುಂಡವಿಲಂಬಿತ ಯುಕ್ತ ಕರಾಲ ಕಪಾಲ ಸ್ರಜೆ ರಕ್ತ ಬೀಜ ರಕ್ತ ಸ್ವಾದ ಪರೇ ಮುಕ್ತ ಭಯೇ ಭಾಸಿತೆ ಜುಗುಪ್ಸಿತೆ ರಕ್ತ ಬೀಜ ರಕ್ತ ಸ್ವಾದ ಪರೇ ಮುಕ್ತ ಭಯೇ ಭಾಸಿತೆ ಜುಗುಪ್ಸಿತೆ ಶಕ್ತ ನಿಶಾಚರ ಶಕ್ತ ನಿಶಾಚರ ರುಂಡವಿಲಂಬಿತ ಯುಕ್ತ ಕರಾಲ ಕಪಾಲ ಸ್ರಜೆ ರಕ್ತ ಬೀಜ ರಕ್ತ ಸ್ವಾದ ಪರೇ ಮುಕ್ತ ಭಯೇ ಭಾಸಿತೆ ಜುಗುಪ್ಸಿತೆ ರಕ್ತ ಬೀಜ ರಕ್ತ ಸ್ವಾದ ಪರೇ ಮುಕ್ತ ಭಯೇ ಭಾಸಿತೆ ಜುಗುಪ್ಸಿತೆ 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 ನವರಸ ರಸವಾಹಿನಿ ನಿರಂಜನಿ ಅವನಟ ಲೀಲಾವನಿ ವಿಲಾಸಿನಿ ನವರಸ ರಸವಾಹಿನಿ ನಿರಂಜನಿ ಛೇದ್ರಿತ ಸೈದಿವ ದೈತ್ಯಾಂಗೆ ಹೃದ್ವಿದ್ರಾವಕ ಭೀಕರ ಹರಿಯಾನೆ ಕ್ಷುದ್ರ ವಿಚಾರಣ ಕಾಲಕರಾಲೆ ರುದ್ರ ಪ್ರಿಯೆ ಚಂಡಿಕೆ ಜಯಾಂಕೆ ಛಿದ್ರಿತ ಸೈರವ ದೈತ್ಯಾಂಗೆ ಹೃದ್ವಿದ್ರಾವಕ ಭೀಕರ ಹರಿಯಾನೆ ಕ್ಷುದ್ರ ವಿಚಾರಣ ಕಾಲಕರಾಲೆ ರುದ್ರ ಪ್ರಿಯೆ ಚಂಡಿಕೆ ಜಯಾಂಕೆ
ತಕ್ಕಿಟ್ಟ ಕತ್ತಗ ಧಿಕ್ಕಿನ್ನ ಧಿತ್ತ ಧಿತ್ತ ತಲೆಗಿಡದಾಂ ಧಾನ ತಕ್ಕಿಟ್ಟ ತಕ್ಕ ತಕ್ಕ ಧಿನ್ನ ಧಿತ್ತ ಧಿತ್ತ ತಲೆಗಿಡದಾಂ ಧಾನ ತಕ್ಕಿಟ್ಟ ಕತ್ತಕ ಧಿನ್ನ ಧಿತ್ತ ಧಿತ್ತ ತಲೆಗಿಡದಾಂ ಧಾನ ತಕ್ಕಿಟ್ಟ ಕತ್ತಗ ಧಿಕ್ಕಿನ್ನ ತತ್ತ ತ ಧಿದ್ದಿ ಧಿ ತಕ್ಕಿಟ್ಟ ಧಿಕ್ಕಿಟ್ಟ ತುಂಕಿಟ್ಟ ನುಂಕಿಟ್ಟ ತಲೆಗಿಡದುಂ ತಲೆಗಿಡದುಂ ತತ್ತ ತ ಧಿದ್ದಿ ಧಿ ತಲೆಗಿಡದಗ ತಲೆಗಿಡದಗ ಝುಳುಕಿಡದಗ ಝುಳುಕಿಡದಗ ತಲೆಗಿಡದುಂ ತಲೆಗಿಡದುಂ ಧಿಂ ಧಿಂ ತಲೆಗಿಡದಗ ಧಿಂ ಧಿಂ ತಲೆಗಿಡದಗ ತತ್ತ ಝುಂ ತತ್ತ ಝುಂ ತಲೆಗಿಡದುಂ ಧಿಂ ಧಿಂ ತಲೆಗಿಡದಗ ಧಿಂ ಧಿಂ ತಲೆಗಿಡದಗ ತತ್ತ ಝುಂ ತಕ್ಕ ತ ಝುಂ ತಲೆಗಿಡದುಂ ಧಂ ತಂ ತಂ ತತ್ತ ಧಿಗ ತಲೆಗಿಡದಗ ಧಿಂ ತ ಧಿಂ ತ ಧಿಂ ಧಿಗ ತಲೆಗಿಡದಗ ಧುಂ ತ ಧುಂ ತ ಧುಂ ತುಂ ತುಂ ಧಿಗ ತಲೆಗಿಡದಗ ನಂ ತ ನಂ ತ ನಂ 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 ಧಿಗ ತಲೆಗಿಡದಗ ಧಿಂ ತಕ್ಕ ತಲೆಗಿಡದಗ ಧಿಂ ಧಿಂ ತಕ್ಕ ತಲೆಗಿಡದಗ ಧಿಂ ತಕ್ಕ ಝುಣಗಿಡದಗ ಧಿಂ ಧಿಂ ತಕ್ಕ ಧಿಮಿಗಿಡದಗ ಧಿಂ ತಲೆಗಿಡದಗ ಝುಂ ತತ್ತ 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 ಧಿಂ ತಲೆಗಿಡದಗ ಝುಂ ಧಿತ್ತಿ 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 ಧಿಂ ತಲೆಗಿಡದಗ ಝುಂ ತುಂ 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 ಧಿಂ ತಲೆಗಿಡದಗ ಝುಂ ನಂ 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 ತಲೆಗಿಡದಗ 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 ಧಿತ್ತಿ ಧಿ ತಲೆಗಿಡದಗ ತಲೆಗಿಡದಂ ಗಿಡದಗ ತಲೆಗಿಡದಂ ಗಿಡದಗ ತಲೆಗಿಡದಂ ತಲೆಗಿಡದಗ ಝುಣಗಿಡದಗ ಧಿಮಿಗಿಡದಗ ಧಿತ್ತಿ ಧಿ ತಗ ತಲೆಗಿಡದಗ ತುಂ ತಲೆಗಿಡದಗ ತುಂ ತಗ ತಲೆಗಿಡದಗ ತುಂ ತಲೆಗಿಡದಗ ತಲೆಗಿಡದಗ ಝುಣಗಿಡದಗ ಧಿಮಿಗಿಡದಗ ಧಿತ್ತಿ ಧಿ ತಗ ದಿಗ ತಲೆಗಿಡದಂ ತಗ ದಿಗ ತಲೆಗಿಡದಂ ತಗ ದಿಗ ತಲೆಗಿಡದಂ ಓಂ ಹ್ರೀಂ ಶ್ರೀಂ ಬುಂ ಓಂ ಹ್ರೀಂ ಶ್ರೀಂ ಬುಂ ತದ್ಧಿಂಗಿಣ್ಣತ್ತುಂ ತದ್ಧಿಂಗಿಣ್ಣತ್ತುಂ ತಾಂ ತದ್ಧಿಂಗಿಣ್ಣತ್ತುಂ ತಕ್ಕ ಧಿಂಗಿಣ್ಣತ್ತುಂ ತದ್ಧಿಂಗಿಣ್ಣತ್ತುಂ ತಕ್ಕ ಧಿಂಗಿಣ್ಣತ್ತುಂ ತಾಂ ತದ್ಧಿಂಗಿಣ್ಣತ್ತುಂ ತಕ್ಕ ಧಿಂಗಿಣ್ಣತ್ತುಂ ಗಿಡತಕ ಧಿಂಗಿಣ್ಣತ್ತುಂ ತದ್ಧಿಂಗಿಣ್ಣತ್ತುಂ ತಕ್ಕ ಧಿಂಗಿಣ್ಣತ್ತುಂ ತಕ್ಕ ಧಿಂಗಿಣ್ಣತ್ತುಂ ಧಿಂ 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 ತಾಂ ತಕ್ಕಿಟ್ಟ ತರಗಿಡದುಂ ತಕ್ಕಿಟ್ಟ ಗಿಡದಗ ತರಗಿಡದುಂ ಧಿಂ ತಕ್ಕಿಟ್ಟ ತರಗಿಡದುಂ ತಕ್ಕಿಟ್ಟ ಗಿಡದಗ ತರಗಿಡದುಂ ಧಿಂ
ಸೈರಭ ದೈತ್ಯಾಂಗೆ ರಾವಕ ಭೀಕರ ಹರಿಯಾಣಿ ಕ್ಷುದ್ರ ವಿಚಾರಣ ಕಾಲ ಕರಾಲೆ ರುದ್ರ ಪ್ರಿಯೆ ಚಂಡಿಕೆ ಜಯಾಂಗೆ ಚಿತ್ರಿತ ಸೈರಭ ದೈತ್ಯಾಂಗೆ ರಾವಕ ಭೀಕರ ಹರಿಯಾಣಿ ಕ್ಷುದ್ರ ವಿಚಾರಣ ಕಾಲ ಕರಾಲೆ ರುದ್ರ ಪ್ರಿಯೆ ಚಂಡಿಕೆ ಜಯಾಂಗೆ ಐಗಿರಿ ನಂದಿನಿ ನಂದಿತ ಮೇದಿನಿ ವಿಶ್ವ ವಿನೋದಿನಿ ನಂದನುತೆ ಗಿರಿವರ ವಿಂಧ್ಯ ಶಿರೋದಿನಿ ವಾಸಿನಿ ವಿಷ್ಣು ವಿಲಾಸಿನಿ ಜ್ಯೇಷ್ಠುನುತೆ ಐಗಿರಿ ನಂದಿನಿ ನಂದಿತ ಮೇದಿನಿ ವಿಶ್ವ ವಿನೋದಿನಿ ನಂದನುತೆ ಗಿರಿವರ ವಿಂಧ್ಯ ಶಿರೋದಿನಿ ವಾಸಿನಿ ವಿಷ್ಣು ವಿಲಾಸಿನಿ ಜ್ಯೇಷ್ಠುನುತೆ ಭಗವತಿ ಹೇಷಿತಿ ಕಂಠ ಕುಟುಂಬಿನಿ ಭೂರಿ ಕುಟುಂಬಿನಿ ಭೂರಿ ಕೃತೆ ಜಯ ಜಯ ಹೇ ಮಹಿಷಾಸುರಮರ್ದಿನಿ ರಮ್ಯಕಪರ್ದಿನಿ ಶೈಲಸುತೆ ಜಯ ಜಯ ಹೇ ಮಹಿಷಾಸುರಮರ್ದಿನಿ ರಮ್ಯಕಪರ್ದಿನಿ ಶೈಲಸುತೆ ಜಯ ಜಯ ಹೇ ಮಹಿಷಾಸುರಮರ್ದಿನಿ ರಮ್ಯಕಪರ್ದಿನಿ ಶೈಲಸುತೆ ರಮ್ಯಕಪರ್ದಿನಿ ಶೈಲಸುತೆ ರಮ್ಯಕಪರ್ದಿನಿ ಶೈಲಸುತೆ ನವರಸ ರಸವಾಗಿನಿ ನಿರೋಜನಿ ಅವನಟ ಲೀಲಾವನಿ ವಿಲಾಸಿನಿ ನವರಸ ರಸವಾಗಿನಿ ಕಂದರ್ಪ ಸ್ಫುಟ ದರ್ಪ ಫಣಿ ಫಣ ಬಿಂಧಕ ಗಾರುಡ हरनयनाग्निस्यन्दित सुमनोहर भयङ्करे स्यन्दित सुमनोहर भयङ्करे सन्दर्भे कम्पिते निलिम्पे सुमनोहर भयङ्करे सन्दर्भे कम्पिते निलिम्पे भयङ्करे सन्दर्भे कम्पिते निलिम्पे रसवाहिनी निरञ्जनी अवनटलीलावनी विलासिनी नवरस रसवाहिनी विश्वरूपण धारण मारण श्वसनोपम कार्ये शश्वदुदंचित संचित सत्वे शाश्वत मुक्तिप्रदे महाभूते विश्वरूपण धारण मारण निश्वसनोच्छ्वसनोपम कार्ये शश्वसुधञ्चित संचित सत्वे शाश्वत मुक्तिप्रदे महाद्भुते विश्वरूपण धारण मारण विश्वरूपण विश्वरूपण धारण मारण 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 शाश्वत मुक्ति प्रदे महाद्भुते शाश्वत मुक्ति प्रदे महाद्भुते महा ಪಗ ಪ ಪ ನಿ ದ ದ ನಿ ಸ ದ ನಿ ಪ ದ ಸ ನಿ ದ ಪಗ ಸ ಸ ಪಗ ಪ ಪ ನಿ ದ ದ ನಿ ಸ ದ ನಿ ಪ ದ ಸ ನಿ ದ ಪಗ ಸ ಸ ಪಗ ಪ ಪ ನಿ ದ ದ ನಿ ಸ ದ ನಿ ಪ ದ ಸ ನಿ ದ ಪಗ ಸ ಸ ಸ ಗ ಸ ಸ ಸ ಪಗ ಗ ಪ ನಿ ದ ಪ ದ ದ ನಿ ಸ ದ ನಿ ಪ ದ ದ ಗ ಪ ದ ಪಗ ಸ ಸ ಸ ಸ ಗ ಸ ಸ ಸ ಪಗ ಗ ಪ ನಿ ದ ಪ ದ ದ ನಿ ಸ ದ ನಿ ಪ ದ ದ ಗ ಪ ದ ನಿ ದ ದ ನಿ ಸ ಪ ದ ಸ ದ ನಿ ಸ ಗ ದ ನಿ ದ ನಿ ಸ ದ ನಿ ದ ಗ ಪ ದ ನಿ ದ ನಿ ಸ ದ ನಿ ಸ ಪ ದ ಸ ದ ನಿ ಸ ಗ ದ ನಿ ದ ನಿ ಸ ದ ನಿ ದ ಗ ಪ ದ ನಿ ದ ನಿ ಸ ದ ಗ ಪ ದ ನಿ ಸ ಗ ಪ ದ ನಿ ಸ ಪ ದ ನಿ ಸ ದ ನಿ ಸ ನಿ ಸ ಸ ಗ ದ ನಿ ದ ಪ ಸ ನಿ ದ ಪ ಗ ನಿ ದ ಪ ಗ ಸ ಗ ಸ ಗ ಪ ದ ನಿ ಗ ಪ ದ ನಿ ಸ ಪ ದ ನಿ ಸ ಪ ಗ ಪ ಗ ಪ ಗ ಸ ನಿ ದ ಗ ಸ ನಿ ದ ಪ ಸ ಗ ಸ ಗ ಪ ದ ನಿ ದ ನವರಸ ರಸವಾಹಿನಿ श्रीविद्ये शिवसम्प्राप्ति तप्ते देवी चिदानन्द चिन्मात्रके पावन षट्चक्र योगानुरागे भावुक चिंता हरे प्रशांते 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 नवरस रसवाहिनी निरंजनी अवनट लीलावनी विलासिनी नवरस रसवाहिनी नवरस रसवाहिनी देवी देवी
On behalf of Drishti Art Center, I would like to thank the management of Sir C.V. Raman Research Institute. A special thanks to Subbuji and Sachinji for their warm hospitality. It has been a great experience for us to share the joy of dance with all of you. I would also like to thank our light designer, Manju Madikeri. Thank you, Manju Madikeri. And I would also like to thank Mr. Srinivas from event links for cooperating with us with the technical detailing of the program. On sound, we had Riya Vikrant assisting us, and for the backstage support, TM Vikrant. I would also like to introduce my team, Drishti Ensemble, Aishwarya Tolpadi, Shubha Chetan, Chandralekha, Anagha, Shamita, Kavya, Kavyashri Bharadwaj, Apeksha V, and Abhigna, myself, Anuradha Vikrant. Thank you so much.
So we bring the day's program to a close. Once again, thank you all for joining us on this momentous occasion. Special thanks to Mrs. Anuradha and her team for this wonderful performance. Hope you thoroughly enjoyed the event. We now request you all to join us for the high tea, please. Thank you.